Hi everyone, I'm Maddie.
And I'm Amber.
And we're
Witches Talking Tarot.
And I started every time I'm really excited today to talk about this, but I actually am really excited to talk about this.
Yes.
We're going to be discussing Hecate's Night. Now, if you're watching this, you're actually watching it on Hecate's Night? Is that the release?
Yeah, if you're watching it on the release day.
Yes.
We are releasing this specifically on Hecate's Night because Hecate's Night is November 16th, which happens to be my husband's birthday, which makes me super, I was super interested in Hecate's Night from the moment I discovered it because it's on his birthday. And ever since my oldest daughter did his birth chart, and I have made the joke that my husband is Hades because his birth chart is just like Hades. It's hilarious. It's a kind of a family joke. And then the fact that Hecate's Night is his birthday, I'm like, he's Hades. That's why I couldn't name my kid Persephone because it would be like too Targaryen of me.
We're borderline spiritual psychosis.
Look, I'm just saying, that man's birth chart says Hades, and then he's born on Hecate's Night, who is like Hades' wife's buddy in the underworld.
I like to imagine them as like roommates. I think we were just discussing
we were.
Hades and Persephone and
Hecate. And all her different three versions. So there's a young maiden version of her. There's the annoyed mother version of her. And then there's the crotchety old lady crone.
Right. I like to imagine maybe at breakfast it's the young maiden.
Right.
And like lunch.
Bitch, give me the orange juice.
They're like, God, I fucking hate it in the morning.
God! Why did you eat the last of the fucking... oh my God.
Count
pomegranate.
Oh, pomegranate.
Why'd you eat the last of the pomegranate, Persephone? That's what my mouth was trying to make come out, and it wouldn't. Like, too many peas. My lips were like, I can't function. What you want?
And then lunch comes around, and she's like, are you wearing... It's awfully cold. Do you have a jacket?
Right, she's all motherly.
Right.
So she's just like Dashboga, who transforms from young Jensen Ackles into Martin Sheen at the end of the day.
Dinner time is like... dinner time.
Oh my God! By dinner time, she's Carol Kane, and she's got the cauldron outside. Here, kitty.
Oh my God!
Oh my God, that is I love it. Hilarious. So I picture young her as Aubrey, what's her face from Parks and Recreation. You know what I mean?
Hecate? I could see that.
The young, annoying,
though I do think
annoyed
she's
version of her.
Probably more mother's age because I think she's about your age, if not a little older.
I mean, but in the scheme of everything, I wouldn't call her Aubrey Plaza. I wouldn't call her a mother in any she could definitely still be a maiden.
Definitely,
because in the mother stage of Hecate, I could definitely see somebody more loving and open, like Liv Tyler's Persephone. So it can't be Liv Tyler, but that's who was in my head. I'm like, now I gotta think about it. Who's a good mother?
You know what? I kind of see Sarah Paulson in Coven as the Supreme. Because she's very, especially
Paulson,
in Apocalypse, where she's very,
I could see that,
yeah.
Yep, I could see that. I like that.
And then I think
the three aspects of Hecate: Aubrey Plaza, Sarah Paulson, Carol Kane.
Yes.
I like that.
I do too. I really do.
It shows a lot of growth.
It really does. I love that. But that's the whole point of the triple goddess,
Exactly.
That's the whole point of life is growth.
Yeah.
So this Hecate's Night, usually I just light an incense offering, but for some reason, maybe it's because we've done this research, I want to go more all out with my offering for Hecate. I really do. I'm thinking some garlic and honey.
Well, I won't lie. Last year was the first year that I knew about Hecate's Night because as I geared up for this podcast, on my Amber's the Color page, I was doing all these little like stories to gear up for Christmas / Yule time, right? And I was doing all this research, and I came across stuff for Hecate's Night as it overlapped with like Krampus lore and the Wild Hunt stuff. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. And I found out about it just before my husband's birthday. So I was able to do something, and I did. I left a lavender incense for her because I was
if I don't have dragon's blood, which is my go-to for Hecate personally, I do lavender.
Yeah.
Because it's something about the color.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, I feel like because of like, for me, lavender and psychic protection, like they're, you know, so like, it just felt like appropriate for a goddess of the underworld. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And as I've told Maddie, and as I did a reel on our Witches Talking Tarot Instagram, I've been getting pulled to Hecate for like goddamn years, almost a decade. However, my bitch ass was like, I've got so many goddesses, which is kind of really bitch ass of me because I did incorporate Aphrodite after the Hecate reached out to me.
I love that. To me, that's goals, because I feel like for me, I definitely plan to continue to have multiple goddesses and just keep going and going and going as much as possible until my whole house is fucking covered in offerings and shit.
I mean,
because everything changes. Life changes. So when you're in different aspects of your life, for example, I was a goddess of Aphrodite before I was married.
Yeah.
You can guess why. I wasn't married. You know?
Well, and like, I'm just a very sensual person. So like, I adopted Aphrodite as a married person, but like, from very many same standpoints that I think you probably adopted Aphrodite as a non-married person. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Also, Aphrodite for me helps with like self-confidence. Right,
exactly. Well. It was about self-love. It really was. Yeah. Yes. I mean, but like, because it's all tied together, you know, like for me, sensuality and self-love, they are tied hand in hand, because like, I can't be truly like open with another person if I can't be truly open with myself. You know what I mean? Exactly. And I can't fully share myself with another person if I can't even like acknowledge me for who I am. Exactly. So like, yeah, it's all like full circle, which brings us back to Hecate, because she's the threefold goddess. But yeah, like you've been following her for a while. I have not even known about her except for like the last 8 years or so, and I've had a calling to her, or she's been calling to me possibly my whole life, because she's a liminal goddess, which I found out in the, like, I guess I should have known because of the underworld stuff, but like just hearing that, because like liminal things, they call to me, just like my liminal oracle deck. You know,
as I think about it, I think maybe I have worked with Hecate about as long as I've done tarot reading, which is 7 to 8 years. I don't want to do the math around.
Okay, so literally for the same amount of time that she's been calling to me, you've been working with her. And pre this episode, while we were getting ready for this episode, guys, I told Maddie I had this weird thought pop into my head today that like, because she is a follower of Hecate, and I met her shortly after I found a calling to Hecate and learned about Hecate, I was like, what if Hecate brought us together?
That's crazy.
Like,
I mean, it's not crazy in a bad way.
Right, yeah. Like, I just like, when you say how long you've been working with her, and that's the same amount of time she's been calling to me, and I've been like, I'm too busy. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, Hecate.
That's why I don't fuck with the Morgan. She's
nice. Right? Well, see, here's the other thing about Hecate, because I don't fuck with the Morgan. I don't fuck with a lot of stuff. No, you're good. I thought that Caradwyn was calling to me, but during this research, I realized that like it was really Hecate. Just like Hecate finally was like, okay, you're into Slavic. Hecate and Marsana, they're like sister goddesses, and Marsana, she's my girl. Like Mokash is the mother of my mother, but Marsana, she's my lover, she's my sister, she's my other. And like at PPD, our mutual friend was like, he used to be married to a Slavic witch, one of his, anyway, and he was like, you have Mara energy all over you today. And I was like, oh, because Mara is another name for Marsana. And Hecate and Marsana are like, you know, the same, you know, in the different pantheon.
Right, just a different face of the same goddess.
Yeah, and I've been like obsessed with Marsana since I learned about her.
So
I
think
find it so interesting.
People have this misconception that if you work with Hecate, that you must be goth or you,
right,
you
which
know,
is
you
the
must...
other reason I didn't
take
the calling.
And I'm so glad you're saying that and being honest about that.
I am.
I feel bad.
I feel guilty.
So
I
many
legit
people
feel guilty today.
are turned off from Hecate because of the
misconception
aesthetic and the misconception.
Because she's associated with the dark moon.
Mm-hmm. So everybody's like, oh,
she's a dark goddess because she's associated with the underworld and ghosts. So, she's a goth. But she's really not. But the more you learn about her,
you know.
Yeah, she's not scary though. Like, she's the different aspects of the moon.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. I love that about her.
I love it too.
I find it beautiful, and I do think it's wonderful that this Hecate's night we should be in the waning moon, which is like literally
closest
her,
to the going into
that's
the,
her thing. And that should be happening on her night.
Yes.
And on her night, she is walking around with her hounds, correct?
Yes. Okay, so Hecate's night is all Hecate's night because she's walking between the worlds.
Right.
She's the underworld, the earth, the sky. She is just... As I say it now, I imagine her walking with her hounds at her side, but then there's a flowing of like this gray, dark, like veil and dress behind her as she walks in the
see, I picture her.
Sorry, just represents the actual veil.
Yes, I love that.
Yes.
I picture her like continually just coming to a crossroads and going in every direction at the same time because she's Hecate, she's the triple-fold goddess.
Oh, absolutely.
And she's the goddess of the crossroads. And that is literally how I've pictured it as I've been doing the research. I've been picturing her with her hounds, and she goes to the crossroad, and she's a threefold goddess, so she can go each way at the path. The path goes three ways. You can go forward, you can go right, you can go left. And Hecate, she does all three.
Oh my god.
You know what I mean? Like, she's like a rainbow. She splits.
Like intense. That's like so intense.
I'm so excited.
Maybe that's how she's able to visit all of her
I feel so guilty. Like, all day I felt so guilty for ignoring this call that I've told you even a couple weeks ago. Mm-hmm. Like, I know she's been calling to me, and I have so many that I go to, you know, like, I love Dashboga. Like, I love Veles, who is the god of the underworld for the Slavic pantheon. I love Marsana. She's the goddess of death and winter. She's also the Slavic equivalent of Hecate. And there's like all these different, as I've like branched out and really like embraced the Slavic pantheon because the majority of my roots come from there. Granted, I've also been embracing a lot of Norse because I have a lot of roots there as well.
Absolutely. I mean, I think so many people branch out to the things that they
like
are,
I mean, you feel
it's connected to you,
right,
to
and
your family, you
exactly.
know what I mean?
Like, and I choose to go down an ancestral path. Well, I say I choose, but the ancestors chose me.
Well, and I think that's why like the Mediterranean and like the Hellenic deities so much. I haven't done my birth chart, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I don't know if I have any Mediterranean.
Well, hell, I've been doing the Slavic thing since before the DNA thing.
Oh, no, that's why I'm saying, like,
you don't have to have the DNA for,
No, you don't have to, but part of me wonders if I do. You know what I mean? Part of me is curious if I do. I may not, even if I don't, that's okay, but I just wonder. You know what I mean?
Right? Like, I didn't get a smidgen of it, but my mom has a smidgen of the Italian Mediterranean.
See, even if it's like Italian or... Dude, I hope I have some Italian, because I'm going to be walking around making jokes with my husband. Hey, I'm walking! Yes! I'm like, hey, Bryson. What? Oh, forget about it.
Yes! Oh, my gosh. You know,
It'd be like making meatballs and shit. Bryson's like, bro, you're 0.2% Mediterranean.
No, I feel that. I do. But even, I am definitely much more Hebrew, but I still make all the jokes, because I'm like, I am the most frugal motherfucker, guys. And I'll be like, it's in my blood. It really is. That That was the ancestors not
What was
appreciating
that?
my joke. It was my vape. It
Oh,
flew
they were mad.
right out of my hand.
They were like,
fuck you, bitch. You don't get your tobacco. It's not tobacco. It's just nicotine, guys. Get up with the times.
they're like, forget about it. oh my God,
Oh
they did it again.
Oh, they are not appreciating the jokes. Sorry, guys. Oh, it's been a long day. We're being a little silly. We're so excited about these episodes this week.
So while Hecate is walking between the worlds, between all three, you know what I mean? This is the time that her followers obviously leave offering to her.
Yes.
A lot of people take time to petition her. I personally don't petition any deities, even though I've been working with Hecate as long as I have, and I'm a devoted daughter.
Right. It's a good time for initiates to be initiated as followers of Hecate or members of her cult, because there was a big Hecate cult back when she was incorporated into the Greek pantheon from where she came before, possibly Egypt, possibly Indochina, but she was an established goddess elsewhere before she joined the Greek pantheon.
Well, and it's also a great time to, when you are casting spells, ask the goddess to aid during your spell.
Right, and she might answer you because she's walking around with her hounds. And how will she answer you, Maddie?
The calls of dogs, the howls of hounds.
And Maddie and I don't believe in coincidences.
No, I don't.
Had this
I
conversation.
don't. If a dog
howls after you make that petition to Hecate or you ask for her assistance, it's her, because there's no coincidences.
It wasn't a motherfucking squirrel.
It was, yes, it was. And if there was a squirrel, it's because Hecate pulled a little thing out of its tail because she's Madam Mim in that moment, and she's fighting with Merlin and their squirrels, and she sends Merlin running, so that dog barks for you.
So the dog barks, right?
It's all for you guys.
The universe works in mysterious ways. That's what I'm going to say.
There's signs all around us all the time.
So if you're interested in
Hecate's
working,
night, it's easy to know.
Right. So if you're interested in working with Hecate and you've been doing a decent amount of research, I'm just going to do a disclaimer. Do research before you work with any deity, because we don't want to offend them by being ignorant. Granted, I do believe many deities, including Hecate, are understanding. If you just decide, I know better, I'm not going to do any research, I don't think they're going to be as understanding with that. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
So,
but I mean, then again, there's people who work intuitively.
That's true. I'm so sorry. I wasn't trying to
Right. Yeah, no, exactly. I was just saying, if you work intuitively.
Okay, that's different. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, so I apologize.
But otherwise, no, because I think it is appropriate to look into, but at the same time, I started my path by working intuitively solely. And then I found as I went along, there were a lot of things that I did that were in line with this and were in line with that and blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? So I just don't want anybody who does work intuitively to feel like we're saying you have to change the way you are.
Oh, no. Thank you for saying that. That was a little disclaimer. But I do think it is good to do research. Even if you work intuitively, just to have an idea,
a backbone. So so for instance, as Maddie's saying, followers leave offerings. A traditional way to leave an offering for Hecate would be to put a plate of food out on your porch for her, generally on something maybe a piece of bread, a natural plate,
right?
Unquote,
or the crossroads,
or at the crossroads, right? But eggs, mushrooms, fish, garlic, and honey are all very traditional offerings to give her. But at the same time, for me, one of my favorite meals is eggs, mushrooms, garlic, and spinach.
Oh, hells yeah. That sounds like an omelet.
Exactly, right? So it's I would put the spinach in there, because spinach, when you add spinach to any spell, it's a good foundation of grounding because of the earth energy. But also, it would be offering to Hecate something that I genuinely enjoy eating, and it's a food that incorporates a lot of what you would give to her as offerings, and it's almost it's something we share together. You know what I mean?
I love that.
Yeah,
and my favorite.
I loved hearing the eggs and mushrooms because they're so Slavic. I mean, not necessarily from her followers, but from my practice, eggs and mushrooms are so Slavic. So I'm fuck yeah, I'm gonna leave her some.
So another offering that Hecate loves is dandelions. These are totally associated with her. As a matter of fact, every year I collect dandelions, not for ingesting, though you can do research on that as well. I just like to leave them for offerings.
So would dandelion wine be a good thing to leave as an offering for Hecate?
Yes, and I think that's an intuitive thing, because dandelion wine is like mostly dandelion mead, right? Right. So mead wasn't very popular in Greece. Like I had just read, it wasn't very popular. They used a lot of grape versus red wines. But working intuitively, you don't have to do exactly what they did there.
Right.
But I think
I just go with like, because dandelions, if they're
and honey,
you know, exactly, because
right,
the mead, right? So it's like those are both things that are good offerings to her. So it's just like it kind of seems like it would go hand in hand.
So.
When I think I know she's not Fae energy, but at the same time, it's like she does kind of give off that same kind of Fae energy. Like I can't explain it, but certain things have a blue light in my head. Marsana and Hecate both have a blue light behind them, or not behind them, it's emitting from them. It's like from their core, they have a blue light that comes out. So does Krishna. I cannot explain why that is.
I feel that. The thing about Hecate is, I think she really comes to every one of her daughters differently. So while as...
And also blue is my favorite color, disclaimer, guys. That's possibly a thing.
So where you associate her with like a glowing blue, I imagine purple. You know, or as where you were talking a honey dandelion offering, for me, I always go with the dark red.
What about a mulberry wine? I don't know. That's popping in my head.
That sounds good. And I feel like that would go red. I don't know why. I just think Hecate is like she's like, I need my Marlowe. Like a dark red.
I could see that. Like, because she's got that mother in her. So she's like, these kids be trying me.
I know.
He won't stop grabbing her ass all day long. It's the kissy, kissy, touchy, touchy, feely, feely. I'm back to them being roommates, okay? In case you weren't paying attention at the beginning of the episode, Hecate and Persephone and Hades are kind of roommates down there.
Which I love. I do. But anyway, like...
Sharon just comes and goes. Maybe Sharon and Hecate have a thing. I'm convinced.
But I just imagine
because
Sharon as Liz Taylor, though, or...
Well, because think about it. Okay, so Sharon has to have a relationship with Cerberus, who's, like, the big dog.
Right.
And Hecate has to have a relationship with Cerberus because he's a dog, and she comes and goes. And so, like, can't you see her and Liz Taylor passing in the night? She's got her veil behind her, right? Her cloak of the veil. And Sharon has his cloak that never touches anything.
Oh, I love that.
And he's all Liz Taylored out, and she's all, you know,
I see them as, like, best friends. But I'm like,
sorry,
also...
I've been watching a lot of Tales from the Crypt lately, and it's got young Carol Kane as a motherfucking hottie. Sorry.
I'm loving the thought of Sharon, like, coming into the kitchen, because, you know, there's one huge kitchen in the... in
the underworld, it's like a communal kitchen.
Right.
And Tantalus is right outside the kitchen with the apple, like, y'all suck. Like I can smell the food you're cooking.
He's, like, pouring a cup of coffee, and, like, let's imagine that Hecate's in a pissy mood, because she's a teenager, right? It's in the morning.
Oh, right, it's
what
Aubrey
are
Plaza.
You doing? Aren't you supposed to be working? I'm on break.
I can see that.
Liz Taylor, I'm on my break, sweetie. Don't get an attitude with me.
And, like, even though Liz Taylor's got the bald head, I can see him doing that.
Yeah, right.
Like,
don't get an attitude with me.
And, like, nails are on point, pointing at Aubrey Plaza.
I love it, dude.
Yeah.
Like, somebody
and,
make
like,
this.
Right? I see Aubrey Plaza, like, talking shit on the eyeliner, and, like, Liz is like, do not make me. And then, like, Hecate walks in, and she's like, all right. Oh, wait, she is Hecate.
Oh, she is Hecate.
She is Hecate. My bad,
Persephone walks in, and she's like, what is going on?
I was thinking the mother hate Hecate, but I guess they wouldn't both be present. Or would they? Would they both be present? Could Mother Hecate walk in and be like, Aubrey Plaza Hecate, Liz Taylor, shut the fuck up.
Better. Aubrey Plaza takes a sip of her coffee, and
then she turns into Sarah Paulson, and Liz Taylor's like, Thank you. I was about to go off.
She's like, oh, that's better.
Oh, Jesus Christ, teenagers. I do too. This is amazing.
I do love it. Because I'm imagining
managed
like a
to work
shimmer.
casting in.
Right, I know, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
I'm so excited for this episode. The more research I did, also felt guilty the more research I did, because the more research I did, the more I was like, damn, this bitch has just been in my face for years, and I've been like, not today, Hecate.
Oh my God, put that
It's
on
like,
a t-shirt.
Yes.
Make a fucking meme of that.
Yes, not today, Hecate. Yes. Fuck not today, Satan.
Oh my God, when you're having a bad day and the dogs start barking. Or
not today, Hecate. I love it. Oh my God.
That is so funny.
Oh, that was a good. I like that.
So one of my favorite like symbols of Hecate, which I totally forgot about until you mentioned it, is the toad. I love when it comes to witches and Hecate being the queen of witches, if that's what you choose to believe. I fucking love that a toad would be her side, and not a regular toad, a big ass Harry Potter toad that's like this big that just randomly goes ribbit. Have you seen them? Do you know what I'll have to show you.
No, the smile on my face is the fact that my only tattoo that is not a flower is a toad. And when I heard that toads were also her animal is when I went, how the fuck long has she been calling to me? Because like, y'all remember peace frogs? I don't think you do, but you remember peace frogs?
The ones that go like this?
Yeah, but like they were sandbags, and oh my God.
Oh.
Love peace frogs. They were so fucking cool. I had all these peace frogs. I had stickers. I miss peace frogs. I bet like I could find one on eBay for like way the fuck too much money.
So I definitely imagine Hecate with this type of toad.
Nope.
You know what I mean? And it's just like, maybe it's on her shoulder. Who fucking knows?
Oh no, I feel like she has like an entire like, you know, we talk about her walking with her dogs. Maybe she's walking with her dogs and her frogs. And she's got them like waiting right in front of her. Like she's got a whole procession of the toads.
So cute.
I know. And then when she splits 3 ways, so do the toads, right? Like they all know which one. Like these guys are the mother's toads. These guys are the maiden's toads.
Right,
these guys are the crone's toads. Same with the dogs, right? Like, so in my head, it was black dogs with Hecate.
Yes, it is.
It's only black.
It's black dog.
Okay.
Well, I think it's dogs in general,
but black dogs specifically as well. Like, so black dogs are extra special, but dogs in general.
Yes.
Okay, because that was a lot of what because in my head, going into it, I thought only black dogs, but a lot of things just said dogs in general, and then some things said black dogs. And disclaimer, don't only leave food offerings to Hecate. If you look into old-timey offerings, that's not cool, yo. Did you read about any of that?
I chose not to.
Yeah, well, I had Google reading to me, so...
No, I know what you're talking about. Well, and
but like only do the food offerings, you know, eggs, fish, mushrooms. It's great. Or the plants.
I want some mushrooms on a pizza. I love mushroom pizza.
I love mushrooms.
Shit, that's Mediterranean as hell. Hecate's like, bitch, I need me a mushroom pizza.
Mushrooms.
So
I love mushrooms.
Dogs, horses, cows, sometimes a pig, and toad. These are the animals associated with Hecate. Now, Amber was talking about a specific statue or a
There's a name for them. They're called like something.
It's not my personal favorite, but you said
yeah,
one
at
has
the crossroads. One face is a dog, one face is a cow, one face is a horse. Oh, my bad. One face is a pig, one face is a horse.
Yes.
Sometimes it's a cow, sometimes it's a pig. Sometimes it's a cow, sometimes it's a horse. Something like that. So it's not always those three, right?
Right.
Sometimes it's slightly different because like it's not always a pig associated with her either, according to some of the things, right? but like, I don't know. I know you don't like the mental association of her being in those different images, but I feel like it's very much the same way, like, you know, she could split into the three different, the mother maiden, the crone. She probably could be, well, something said she was strictly pictured as a dog at one point, which I found very interesting. Because like, it was almost like she went from being a dog to being a goddess. Yeah, like in one of the things that I was reading.
Oh, that's interesting. That is very interesting.
Well, and it just makes the Egyptian origin make more sense.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, there's just one of the things I read about Hecate when I was reading up on Hecate's night, that was my favorite thing that I read about Hecate. The gentleman that wrote it said, the more research you do on Hecate, the more mysterious she gets.
Oh, absolutely.
And I loved that. I thought that was beautiful.
Well, and then with Hecate being associated with the dark moon,
right,
she's also associated with release and renewal, which comes with the new moon, of course.
And
new
because
stages.
She's associated with like these superliminal pieces of life. She's associated with birth because she's the goddess of childbirth. She's associated with death. She is a psychopomp, so she's one of the things, like Sharon, that moves spirits from, you know, the one world to the afterlife. And I just found that, like, she has so many different roles.
Well, and what's really cool about Hecate as well, depending on which, like, origin belief that you have with Hecate, is that her parents, in the one that I read, were Titans, and Zeus recognized her power, and he was almost intimidated by Hecate, because Hecate is older than Zeus. Yeah. Hecate is older than Zeus. So instead of, you know, banishing her, whatever, she's a great person. You know what I mean? Anyway, so he gives her the ability to go between these worlds.
Right. And I like, to me, that when you, like, you emphasize she's older than Zeus, and I'm like, and that just even kind of further speaks to, you know, her coming in from this other place and being automatically respected, which I found very interesting, right? They didn't bring her into the Greek pantheon and, like, make her less than. They brought her in the Greek pantheon and made her better than, equal to. You know what I mean? Well, and I found that to be amazing. Because she was just so respected.
I don't want to be in a, like, hateful and say one's better than the other, but one has more power than the other, and that's why the other one is like, let's not piss her off. Let's give her these gifts so that she but allows me to continue.
Like, you know, we see different goddesses or gods that move, like, throughout the world, right? But they change faces as they do, right? Yeah. Like, we've got Odin and Zeus, and they're kind of very similar, right? Yeah. And Perun, you know, being similar in there. But at the same time, like, Hecate, she came into the Greek pantheon as who she was. You know what I mean? Persephone was such a popular goddess that other cultures, once they heard the tale of the Flower Maiden, they incorporated her into their pantheons. And I find that reminds me the fact that those two, I can see that. Yeah. But the fact that those two are connected, and they both are those goddesses that they travel between the two worlds, and the entire world seems to love them. And I do find that very interesting that is it because they found each other that they're both so popular, or they're both so popular and they just happen to wind up together?
Well, I had read a theory as well that Hecate is one and the same as Persephone.
Right, with Demeter being the mother in that. Yes. And
Hecate.
Which again is one reason why I was like, I know this bitch is calling to me. Like,
which actually,
Demeter was my first goddess, Persephone was my second. I wanted to name my kid Persephone.
As I say it like that,
my husband's Hades.
I love the Hades relationship with all of them. If they were Hecate, Persephone is Hecate. Oh babe, I love you, you know, like, and
Demeanor is heck.
they are like this close to
fucking
a
hate you. They're like
This-
the devil and his wife.
Right.
Hocus Pocus.
Yes. Dead ass dude, the devil and his wife on Hocus Pocus. That shit is hilarious.
I'm sorry. I just like you said that. I pictured Demeter and Hades, and I was like the devil and his wife,
Right.
which is funny because Hades. Oh my god!
I
didn't
know
even-
that is so funny. That's perfect.
Amber's blonde. Sorry
That
guys,
is
that's
literally
so funny.
so
Oh my
funny.
god!
It's like, God, when is Persephone coming?
Right.
back?
And then as Hecate, the Carol Kane of the bunch, and she's just
I like to think he's just as attracted to her.
dude, I am.
Absolutely.
Like, Carol Kane is a hot motherfucker. Like, the episode of Tales from the Crypt, Judy, You're Not Yourself Today, where Carol Kane is a fucking hottie that a witch takes over the body of. Oh my god, I would talk about a throuple. Yep. Not with the witch, the husband in the episode. Yep, if you've seen it, you know. You can look it up if you want, and then
What
you'll
is it?
understand. If you look up Judy, You're Not Yourself Today, and Carol Kane, I would imagine you'll see clips or pictures, images of who the husband is, because I don't know the actor's name. I don't think it's a young Nick Nolte. I think it's knockoff Nick Nolte. Hotter Nick Nolte, but knockoff Nick Nolte nonetheless. I don't know.
This is her?
That is Carol Kane. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She's fucking hot in that episode, right?
Wow.
Yes, that's young Carol Kane in that episode, and she is
still
fucking
witchy
hot.
as fuck.
She is. Like, seriously, and her husband is, like I said, like, you know, threesome. I could do that threesome.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why I love Carol Kane as Hecate. Like, honestly, I think Carol Kane could be all three of the Hecates.
I know, as I see
but
this,
like,
I'm like, yeah.
isn't that motherfucker hot?
Yeah, I think
Like,
so. In like a priest
like,
sort of way.
He's like, okay, so it's really funny because they're like this couple who like tries to act like they're like better than or whatever. So like at the beginning of the episode, like he's all talking in this fake British accent and she's like walking around like smoking and like oh my god, it's so funny. I love that episode. It's I love Tales from the Crypt. I may or may not have been a bit depressy lately, and so Tales from the Crypt is one of my comfort things. And I forgot how much I loved it until I put it on.
The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, see, I finished some show that was working for me, so I
hate that.
Tales from the Crypt.
Oh my god!
Some YouTube channel has like marathons, so
do you
just put it on for hours.
Do you have any intention of watching Barbarian? Is that scary?
The Justin Long thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Justin Long. Okay,
you call him a scream queen, but he has way more comedy than horror.
He does.
He does.
Like I've seen him.
I like his comedy way better.
Right.
His horror, other than Jeepers Creepers, like his horror fucks me.
But I had just seen the thing saying like, man, he's in some fucked up horror.
Yeah.
And I'm watching this movie and I'm like, damn, this is really scary. And then I see him and I'm like, fuck. It's about to get scary. Like, I'm like, literally, that was my first thought. When I saw him in it, I was like, son of a bitch, this is going to be scary.
I don't know. What you told me so far, I'm not sure. I
want to finish it, but it's actually really scary. And the main character, he died. Spoiler alert, never mind. One of the main guys.
Yeah, this one's a new movie.
His last name's Skarsgård.
Oh, I love those guys.
Is he
one of
brothers.
the attractive or creepy ones?
It's a creepy one. Well, the one that played is Pennywise. He looks weird. But he kind of cute in this one. But like, the other one though. The other brother. You know who I'm talking about? Blonde hair. Where are they from? Iceland?
I don't fucking know. I don't give a fuck.
They're European and holy shit, he is so hot. He plays a Viking vampire on True Blood and holy hell.
Nice.
Eric, can't remember his last name, but damn, they cast him well. Fucking sexy. But this one, he's just like, what?
Well, you've told me, I just don't know if I can handle that movie. I don't want to see the thing you said. Like the last thing.
I know,
and
I was like, son of a
Like,
bitch. I knew it was gonna be him too because he's the one that does the weirdest shit.
Yeah.
He
was good in Waiting. I love him in Waiting, and that movie where they fake the college. I love that.
I love that movie. It's
That's
like
such a good movie.
Yeah,
such a good movie.
See, that's a good movie.
I
He
love
also
that
played
movie.
in Herbie Fully Loaded with Lindsay Lohan.
Oh God, that's a long time ago.
Yeah, he did. He played in that one.
He played in something else. Oh, he's in fucking Dodgeball.
Oh my God!
Dodgeball.
Wait, isn't he with the Russian?
Yeah. No. He's not the one with the Russian. He's the one that likes the cheerleader girl.
Oh, right.
And he's trying to be a cheerleader guy.
Now, who is with the Russian?
I don't know that actor.
Oh my
I'm
God,
not
dude.
familiar. I do love that whole thing. I love that
so
movie. It's
funny.
such a good
the
movie.
Pirate guy.
Steve Arg. I meant to bring him up on our pirate episode because he's like my favorite fucking pirate. Also fuckable. I would fuck that guy.
Yeah, but you know he talks
in
for American Dad, right? That's the son on American Dad.
Ew. You just ruined him.
Like
Steve from American Dad is
Steve.
not fuckable.
No,
but
he's
you know he's also in the guys out in the cabin, the Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Yeah. He's in a bunch of shit. Like,
yeah, I love that guy.
He's in the new Orville movie, which I really want to watch.
I keep meaning to watch that too.
Yeah, but I hear the first
Steve's voice, really.
Yeah, the first season's a comedy, but the thing about the Orville is within the second one it becomes serious.
Really?
Yeah, they just completely switch genres, which is fine because you can tell it's driven by the passion of the writer, which would be Seth MacFarlane, and he's really excited because he wants to write a more serious series, which is fine. I just wish it had kind of started out that way.
Right. I mean, you can't give me a comedy that I enjoy and turn it into serious.
But it's from what
I mean, you can because you can do whatever the fuck you want, but like I as a person do not appreciate that. I guess is how I should put it.
I do like Seth MacFarlane though. Son of a bitch, you know what?
He made the same cartoon 3 times. Like, let's be clear.
He looks like an asshole. Let's be clear. If I met him in person, he looks like he'd be a total dick. But that motherfucker can sing. Have you heard him sing?
Well, isn't he Brian's voice?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Well, he did a Christmas album, like a serious Christmas album, and
I bet he's got the kind of singing voice that would make me sit on his lap.
A Frank Sinatra type thing. Like it's not like a
exactly. No, Brian. Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, yeah, because and I mean that's the kind of singing voice where I would just. I'm gonna sit in your lap for a minute. We'll be all right. Exactly.
Right, I would love that. So, before we get off here, Amber, I have a question. Do you feel comfortable sharing anything that you'll be doing for Hecate's night?
So I am gonna be making mushrooms and spinach and onions and garlic. I will probably cook eggs with it, and then half of it's for me and half of it.
Will you be doing any ritual or stuff?
Well,
I mean, you don't have to go
live at the crossroads, so yes, I'm going to utilize the fact that I live at a crossroads, and I haven't decided exactly what, but I want to do something for her at the crossroads.
Right, of course.
And I also want to leave her the foods that she and I both eat because, well, I guess I'm sounding assumptive when I say she eats, but I get what you're
saying.
What about you?
I too live at a crossroads, so I will definitely be leaving an offering out there. I know I'll be lighting an instant offering as well, but I think what we're gonna do is make a special dinner. I always make special dinners. Y'all, you bitches know that I'm a kitchen witch.
Right,
I'm always making special dinners.
Cooking.
I don't know what I'm gonna do.
I'm lazy, but I like cooking when I want to.
Right. I especially around this time of year with the holidays coming up. We've got Samhain we just had. Now we've got Hecate's night, and we're going up on Yule.
Yep.
I'm thinking I'm going to do a Mediterranean dish, probably with it's going to have whole wheat noodles, shallots, tomatoes, garlic, black olives, and some white fish, like cod. And it's going to be in a white wine sauce. I made that once before. It was so good.
That sounds delicious. I do remember one thing I'm going to do because it came to me when I was driving. I have a black dog. I have a black cat. I'm going to spoil my animals in honor of Hecate because I have dogs and cats.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't spoil my black cat and not my white and gray cat because he's way cooler anyway. He's fucking Bilbo Baggins.
Right.
But also, the dogs in general are, Hecate's hounds.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided, in the old days, they used the animals differently. I think I wanted to recommend on this podcast, as well as what I'm planning to do myself, is spoil your animals. If you have horses, you have cows, you have pigs. If you have an animal
cats or dogs.
Yeah, cats or dogs. If you have something that's sacred to Hecate, spoil your animal in honor of her.
Lizards.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Spoil them and be like, in honor of Hecate, I'm giving this to you as a way of giving it to her. You know what I mean?
I wonder if that would be the most precious gift.
I hope so. You know what?
Would love that.
I hope so. As above, so below, bitch. I try to feel you. I feel bad for ignoring her for so long. I didn't mean to ignore her, but it's like you had said, the thing, I was honest. I did pull away from the standpoint of everybody looks at you as, you're a goth witch if you follow Hecate.
They do. They make all these assumptions.
They do. They make assumptions. And because that was my introduction to her, I was like, I don't want to be thought of that way because I do have this connection with death. So I already have to fight against people associating me with skulls and goth stuff because it's not my vibe.
I love, there's nothing wrong with it.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not my particular vibe. But at the same time, shout out to Dawn from I Hate It, Let's Watch It. She has opened her own little shop. And I got a bunch of T-shirts for Yule from them.
Really?
And,
what does she? What?
She's got a Redbubble shop, and it's called Dawn something. I'll look it up. I'll send it to you.
Please do.
But all of her stuff, a lot of it has skulls involved. And I'm not particularly into that, but I loved a lot of her designs. And one of them, it's a skull head. And it's got ramen noodles in there, and it says "send nudes," but it's NOODZ. It is, and I had to get it for Katie. So since I had to get one for Katie, I had to get one for the other girls, and I was getting one for all of them. I'm getting one for me. But everybody's got stuff coming up for Christmas. Maddie's shop link will be in the shop. Link will be in the notes. She's got new product in her shop. I will have new product in my shop soon. All this stuff's in the notes. You can support us as well as supporting other podcasters like Dawn Wiz from I Hate It, Let's Watch It. Because she got some cute ass fucking designs. It's cute. And Maddie's got some cute ass fucking designs. And I'll have wearable art in a week or two. So.
Hell yes.
Fuck yeah. Tis the season. Like Maddie was saying, it's feasting season and it's gifting season.
It is.
Yeah.
Well,
sorry to do the commercial, and Dawn, I hope you don't mind the shout out. I would imagine not.
Right.
Yeah, I can't wait to wear my fucking shirt. I made Corey hide them because, yeah.
Shout out to Melissa.
Fucking love you, Melissa. Thank you for your support. It means the world to us.
If you're watching us on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you're doing anything tonight, assuming you're watching on our release, for Hecate, let us know.
Yeah, let us know in the comments. Or if you're listening on one of the podcast platforms, definitely hit us up on Twitter at Classiest Witches. Tell us what your Hecate's night plans are, and then hashtag it with Witches Made Me Do It.
Yes. I need to check that out.
We need to check that. All right, well, thanks for coming to sit with us, Isabel.